Here is an absolutely hilarious story. Now, this is coming from the Gillibrand campaign, or as Kyle Klinsky called her, Kirsten Gillibrand. Now, there was something that I had talked about I believe I was when I was talking to David Dole from the Rational National. I believe I had mentioned it to him. And I've done it in other videos, where I was saying that basically Gillibrand is toast because none of the Bernie crap progressives like her because she's too weak and she's not consistent. And then it's the neo-lib donut Twitter also don't like her because of her calling for the ouster of Al Franken. Now, I guess she was the first senator, I believe is what it says. It says that right here in this article. But that she was the first senator to call for his resignation. So Al Franken, we saw the picture of him groping the woman while I believe she was asleep or something like that. So it was not a good scene, to say the least. Now, here's the headline of this article. It's fascinating. It says, Gillibrand campaign links low fundraising to Al Franken backlash. Memo. So this is crazy. So there's a memo that, I don't know how this was obtained by the New York Times, but this was. And here is what it says. It says, in a memo obtained by the New York Times, the campaign reportedly said there's, quote, no question that donors are retaliating in response to Gillibrand calling on Franken, who had been accused of sexual harassment, to step aside. Quote, there's no question that the first quarter was adversely impacted by certain establishment donors and many online who continue to punish Kirsten for standing up for her values and for women, the memo reads. Gillibrand's campaign announced Sunday that it raised $3 million in the first quarter of 2019, putting her behind several of her Democratic rivals in the race, including Senators Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, and Elizabeth Warren. Gillibrand was the first senator in 2017 to call for Franken to step down amid the allegations of sexual misconduct. The New York senator last month defended that decision, saying, quote, she, quote, stood up for women who came forward. In doing so, quote, if there are a few Democratic powerful donors who are angry because I stood up for women who came forward with allegations of sexual harassment, that's on them, Gillibrand said at the time. So this is why Gillibrand's campaign is totally, meant to fail. It's on just a path for a super fail. Now, on the issue of the whole Al Franken thing, I'm not really sure my opinion on it too much. I don't really have much of I think that people were saying that they wanted her to allow him to have an ethics investigation or something like that, which he wanted but didn't end up happening. And I'm not really sure my opinion on the whole thing. I mean, I think if Al Franken was, a sexual harasser, which is what I guess some women came forward saying he was, and we saw the groping picture, then yeah, obviously he should have stepped down. But I'm not really all that sure what is such a big deal for the neo-lib shits on their part, why they're so pissed about that. Someone can maybe let me know in the comment section, because I'm very shocked about that whole thing. But if you also remember, I did a video showing Gillibrand's campaign where someone is so bored at the campaign and it's just so irrelevant to them that she's in her way of getting some ranch, and so she goes, I'm just trying to get some ranch. And she actually tried using that, sadly, as a campaign ploy. So I saw her wearing a shirt on a video where it said, can you pass me the ranch or something like that, or I'm just trying to get ranch, or whatever the quote was. So her campaign is a complete dumpster fire, and it certainly does not look like it's on a good trajectory. She might be one of the first ones to drop out, actually, because she's the least interesting whatsoever.